Hello everyone, welcome back to The Prestige. Today we're breaking down a UFC 324 fight, Adam Fugitt versus Ty Miller in a 3-round welterweight bout. If you are new to the UFC, this is a power finisher versus long-range strike matchup. We'll keep it simple for beginners while we include stats and details experts love. Let's break it down section by section. Now first is the fight style interaction map, how these two styles play up against each other. Adam Fugitt's primary style is an explosive power striker with one-shot knockout ability and submission threat, and his secondary is an opportunistic wrestler who chains takedowns when openings appear. Ty Miller's primary is a long-range orthodox striker with a reach advantage and forward pressure. His secondary is a developing clinch game and improving takedown defense. The preferred phases each one wants to fight in is Fugitt wants a close-range brawl with heavy hands, knees, and level changes, quick entries to dominate top for ground and pound and submissions, and Miller wants a mid to long range technical striking with the deep jab combos and footwork, using a 1-inch height and reach edge to keep distance and counter pressure. Now the phases each wants to avoid is Fugitt wants to avoid prolonged technical stand-up wars at maximum range where Miller's reach and volume can land without getting tagged, and Miller wants to avoid chaotic close-range exchanges or sustained grappling, where Fugitt's elite power and finishing threat become lethal. Now, how and where the styles collide, the fight will live in the range management and closing speed. Fugitt wants to close distance aggressively, force firefights, and mix takedowns to take away Miller's technical striking. And Miller wants to maintain mid to long range, use footwork and jabs to create angles and punish forward pressure with volume while defending takedowns. Early success in closing distance versus keeping range decides whether this becomes a highlight reel finish for Fugitt or a technical decision for Miller. And now we have the win funnels, the clear path every fighter needs to follow to win their fight. Adam Fugitt's win funnel is he uses forward pressure with feints and level changes to close the distance early. Then he uses sustained heavy striking in close range, mixes rapid takedowns, and forces ground battles. And then he lands a one-shot power for a knockout or a transition to a submission ground and pound. Then he finally lands a one-shot knockout power or he transitions to a submission or ground and pound. Ty Miller's win funnel is he establishes mid to long range early with a deep jab and footwork. He uses reach advantage, counters, and takedown defense to punish pressure and keep the fight standing. And then if he does that, he might get a decision via outstriking his opponent, or he might capitalize on a late fatigue knockout. And now we are on the strengths that each fighter brings specifically to this fight. Adam Fugitt brings elite finishing power that threatens every phase of the fight. He also has strong scrambling and submission threat once he's on the ground. He has veteran experience and durability that allow him to survive early volume. Ty Miller has significant height and reach advantage and an undefeated record that provide confidence in his stand-up. And he has a high volume potential in non-UFC fights that pushes forward pressure. And then he is young and he's very athletic, and that should offer superior burst and recovery. Now on the flip side, the weaknesses that can get targeted by the opponent. For Adam Fugitt, he has a lower volume and accuracy when he's pressured at range. He has a high absorption rate when he's closing the distance against volume strikers, and he's also pretty old, which can be exploited in longer fights. And Ty Miller has zero UFC experience and limited cage time against veteran pressure. He's also untested against elite power finishers. He has less finishing power, which means he has to rely on control and volume. And now, the hidden detail that the numbers reveal. Fugitt's finishing threat is massively underrated. He averages knockdowns with a high knockout rate and has multiple one-shot knockouts. Miller has zero UFC striking or grappling data, meaning his absorption and durability against veteran power are completely untested. And why it's missed is because of Miller's undefeated record. But if Fugitt closes the distance even once, his power plus his submission threat become dangerous. And when it appears as if Fugitt can close the distance once, and it benefits Fugitt, obviously. All right, now in our 100,000 Monte Carlo simulations ran off of real stats, Fugitt starts with a finishing edge adjusted for Miller's reach and undefeated record. 3-round format favors early knockouts but allows decisions. Now, the finishes by the data are Fugitt is heavy on knockouts and submissions, and Miller is heavy on decisions. The volatility is very high. Fugitt's power creates massive finish upside, while Miller adds reach and significant decision upside. Adam Fugitt comes in with a 68% win probability, with 38% of that coming by knockout, 14% by submission, and 16% by decision. And Ty Miller comes in at 32%, with 8% by knockout, 4% by submission, and 20% by decision. And the most common finish window is between rounds 1 and 2 by knockout. And the outcome volatility is very high. And in the end, Adam Fugitt's elite finishing power, close range explosiveness, and veteran experience let him close the distance early, land devastating shots, and finish via knockout or submission. His win funnel prevails through burst and ground dominance, amplified by the hidden detail of his one-shot threat against untested opponents. If this fight does flip, it's because Miller maintains the range, uses his reach advantage, and outpoints Fugitt with volume for decision. His youth, athleticism, and undefeated record make him a live dog if the fight stays standing. And current line likely does favor Miller because of his reach and decision-heavy wins, but I think Fugitt is a very strong underdog. What do you think? Fugitt knockout, Miller decision? Drop your predictions below. I read every one of them. And smash that like if this breakdown helps. Subscribe for more fight deep dives, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the full card series. Thank you for watching, and let's see who comes out on top.